heads of our states to serve them.
Pour les servir. Et nous sommes venus briser la chaîne.
And we came to break the chain.
Sorry, guys. I think I clicked on the wrong YouTube, but you can check it right away right now if I'm on YouTube. It's not your fault, there, Mosquito. It's mine. It's not yours.
And it is inconceivable for them.
Ils nous ont donc approchés et nous ont
They
demandé
approached
de
us
rentrer dans
and
la-
asked us to enter the ranks, to make the elite leave that must lead Africa.
qui doit diriger l'Afrique parce qu'ils ont une élite formée et formatée.
Because they have an elite formed and formatted that must follow, that is embedded in this chain. We refused to enter their ranks. And then the hostilities began.
He's talking about the fact that people who are trying to run Africa came on to Burkina Faso to basically ask them to be a part of them, and they will make Burkina Faso be the lead country in Africa. But he said no. So it basically means they always look for these people, but kind of like it's lying to them, because lying to them, giving them power, wealth, everything you can think of for their own benefits and for their powerful General Mosquito. Yeah, so he said, no, we have to stick together as Africans. And I believe that's what a lot of countries and leaders have to do, because I believe they're basically thinking about their own good, their own self. The fact that they can't or they can leave this control system and basically be an independent country. Job, you're talking about this. But I believe it's the greed and the arrogance and the hunger for power that is basically drilling and dribbling and sizzling in their body, you know.
Les hostilités ont commencé. Et ils ont fait fourvoyer dans nos zones.
They have sent several mercenaries and trainers to our area.
Des formateurs.
The agents have descended into the Sahel to carry out barbaric, cowardly attacks against our people, hoping to revolt them.
Espérer les révolter. En plus de ces attaques sur le terrain,
In addition to these attacks on the ground, the attacks on communication, manipulation, and disinformation are full in their ranks.
That's so true. Manipulation.
les attaques sur le terrain,
In addition to these attacks on the ground, the attacks on communication,
Everything for me, everything we've heard about Africans, about my country, everywhere. It's heartbreaking.
manipulation, and disinformation.
Disinformation, the educational system, disinformation, like talking about how Africa is the poorest country or continent of all time. That's a lie. I kind of believed that story, but now I know better,
Are full in their ranks.
mais les peuples du Sahel ont compris.
But the people of the Sahel have understood, and we will never be able to be manipulated again. They know where they come from, they know what they are doing, and they know where they are going.
That's a powerful understanding where you come from. As I said earlier, if you were taught about the African history and everything and how Africa used to be powerful, unstoppable, full of love, full of people who understood their roles, understanding who they are. And now it's something else because that's not taught in school. And it should be taught in school.
Nous n'allons plus permettre cela.
We will no longer allow this. People are awake, and people are fighting today, not for ourselves, but for future generations.
Et merci à tous pour le combat qui est livré. Cela ne nous fait jamais
And
pleurer.
thank you all for the fight that
Can you imagine if we had a Ibrahim Traore in every country right now? Talk about Uganda, talk about Tanzania, Rwanda. Can you imagine how Africa can be? And we're so tired of being controlled. We're so tired of y'all being in here trying to make demands of our own country. That's the rise of Africa, I'm telling y'all.
is being fought.
Nous allons
This will never make us cry. We will not tremble. We will fight. We will fight for real independence, for our freedom.
Real independence. Whatever happened years ago was not real independence at all.
Parce que pour faire peur au peuple de l'AES,
Because to scare the people of the
ces
Sahel,
individus n'ont que
these individuals
trois termes
have
d'avance.
That's a sign that US Army, you leave, you move, you vanish. No bonus, no negotiation. Guys are so tired. That's a nice banner that says you are telling me you have to leave, you have to move, you have to vanish. No burners, no negotiation.
Only 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights.
Democracy, freedom, human rights. I'm going to play that again.
Because to scare the people of the Sahel, these individuals have only 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights. Of course, their local values are only elected in a democratic, free, and transparent process according to their values. What is more normal that we want to impose this on ourselves because it is they who dictate the rules.
Très bien. Nous avons décidé de nous assumer.
Very well, we have decided to take responsibility. Do you know why on June 26, 2023, when Niger decided to turn the page, the slaves of Salon and their masters got on the big horses?
Sont montés sur les grands chevaux. Ils ont mis leurs valets locaux en avant.
They put their local values forward and decided to wage a war against the Nigerian people. So we said, anyone who dares to take up arms against Niger will face us. Because we will wage a merciless war until the last drop of blood for anyone who dares to attack our states.
That's what he said. I mentioned this in the morning, and he was like, anybody who dares, literally, like he's not gonna fear. They're not gonna fear if it's about like spilling blood, not at all. And it's amazing because right now I was having a conversation with one of my African friends, from Nigeria, and they're like, you know what? I can see a little bit of doubt because they don't understand what's happening right now. And they're like, you know what? The government is always going to be the same. Even though you're going to fight and protest, we're always going to have bad leadership. We're always going to have bad governance. And I'm like, why are you talking like that? Like, why are you so delve into the fact that it's always going to be like that? It's so funny. And the people maybe who are basically voicing these opinions out, you're not really being a part of what's happening right now. And I'm like, why are you so negative? Like, where's your mind at? Don't be negative in regards to what's happening right now. And they're telling me, regardless, Iwaton, the government is always going to be like that. Even though you raise this protests, even though you go to the streets. And I'm like, it's so funny because you know what's happening.
That's not true. That's not true. It's always been like that because you've been uneducated. That's not true. Yeah. Africa has been caught in straight ignorance for 400, 500 years. That's why it's been exploited. It's the richest continent on the planet, hands down. Should nobody ever been poor in Africa, and you would not. Now you've been taught that Africa's poor. You've been told lies. You've been given fake religions, like Joseph Maponga's talking about. I told you it was going to be a wake up because things work in cycles. The Africans have been in a sleep cycle, and if you knew African spirituality, you knew the Africans knew they were going to sleep. They said we're going to go to sleep. When I was learning, I said, "Go to sleep." What the hell does that mean? As a people, you were going to a slumber. That's just that's how the universe works. You go into a sleep period. Everything goes into a sleep period. Then goes to spring. Everything goes from a fall, which when everything dies, that's your sleep. Then starts to wake back. Then in winter, it really goes to slumber. Then spring starts to wake back up. And everything is cyclical, goes in cycles. So the African at that time mentally were going as a collective consciousness were going into sleep. And so they were going to be dominated by lesser people. People were going to come and rob, steal, rape, kill. The European's nature is not your nature. And that's why you can't fathom what you're dealing with a psychopath. And when I say that, it's not my opinion. They've been diagnosed as civilizations. They set up psychopathic civilizations because they're psychopaths. Everything's even, everything about them stealing and killing and robbing and indoctrination. Why would you want to bring somebody else your goofy religion? Africans had spirituality. They need your religion because you want to dominate them, tell them to worship you, And that's a psychopath. And so you got Africans that run around in churches. And church is the most evil fucking place on the planet. Stolen land, called slavery. Go look up. That's your church. Authorized slavery in Africa, beating, whipping, and killing of Africans because it's about domination, about these souls. But now the Africans, you see, Africans starting to wake up like, whoa, what the hell is going on? That's what Joseph Mpong was talking about. So he can see the awakening. But I already knew that was going to happen. I said, Africa and African people around the globe, you share one collective consciousness. And you're going to start waking back up. So that's why I told you the religions, these fake religions are not going to last maybe no more than 30 years. Because the youth that are being born are not going to accept the lies. They're going to be born too smart. They're not going to accept no Christianity, not going to accept no Islam. That's going to go away. Because you can't tell me religion that's new is the word of God. Like, well, get out of here. It can't be no word of God. This shit is new. The youth are going to know that. They're going to investigate. They're not going to be just listening to your parents. They're going to investigate. Where did this come from?
Yeah.
How is it real if it always subjugates my life? How now that we got this religion, we're all poor. They're going to go back and study real Africans. You never poor before these religions. You're wealthy. Now you got these white people. Now you're impoverished. And like you said, everybody's a slave to the European system. They put their puppets in. So Ibram Traore is educating his people. He's being honest. That's why they want to kill him. Tell them, hey, these people don't want to leave. Why don't they? If we're poor, why don't they leave? Because you're not poor. You're the wealthiest place on the planet. That's why everybody's there. That's why the East Indians there. That's why the Chinese are there. The white man is there. You're there because you're rich. They want to steal what you have. That's what they've been doing for 500 years. He's saying 400. I'm saying 500 years they've been in there stealing. Robbing, stealing, killing, raping. And so the African's docility is now shaking. He's starting to wake up. He's starting to get the sleep out his eyes. You wake up like, you've been slumbering, you get the sleep out your eyes. Like, that's where the African is at now. And the European never thought this was going to happen. But he should have known. He stole all the damn knowledge. He stole all the damn rights of African people. He should have known there was going to be a wake up. Africans weren't going to stay asleep. We're going to keep allowing you to rob, steal, and kill them. So they figured that the African would always be asleep, always worship them. Yeah. But that's coming to an end. And Kenyans know, the IMF and the World Bank would never set up to help any African. How you going to help me? And all the resources are in my country. How you going to help me? It was never benefit to help you because at a certain time they didn't have the manpower. After World War II, they didn't have the manpower to come and fight you hand to hand. So they said, okay, we're going to devise a banking scam, to steal from these niggas and keep them enslaved. We'll put our puppets, like you said, with the fake democracy and the democracy and the human rights. These people don't give a shit about no democracy. They never practiced that nowhere on the planet. It's a lie. And the human rights, they've been killing, stealing, and raping since they got out of Europe 500 years ago. So that's a bruise. Everything they say is, whatever they say, they fix their mouth to say, no, it's the opposite. Their history shows it's the opposite. They never practiced any civil rights or any human rights with nobody. It's always been robbing, stealing, killing, and raping. And if you try to get free, that's why they say they want to go now. You had the AU, another puppet organization, the African Union, say, we got there Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger going out of ECOWAS is unacceptable. What do you mean acceptable? It's their country. Because the white man had told these puppets that it's unacceptable that we got to go to war against them. That's what we're going to do. So you have puppets say they're going to go war against those countries because they left the white man's fake ass system. See, that's the fun. See, that's like Ibram told you. Our uranium has been going to light up Paris by Niger in the dark. How wicked these people are. That shit don't come from France, came from Africa. So they got lights while Niger sits in darkness. They never thought, well, hey, let's at least share. Let's make sure they got lights. Right. They like, nah, fuck that. Fuck these niggas. We're going to rob and steal from their stupid ass. Tell them Jesus Allah coming. And they'll fuck them. That's what they've been doing. And they'll fight to keep it, but somebody's going to go to war with you. Because you get back your resource, Iraton, makes Europe, America, and China poor again. They go back to poverty. So that's what that's what the white man is scared of. You got the white man openly tell you, we're going to invade Africa. Africa ain't done nobody. Why you going to invade? Because, nigga, we want all the resources that you got. Your diamonds, your gold, your cobalt, your platinum, your tin, your aluminum, your uranium, your beryllium, all of it. That's made these people trillions of dollars, kept Africans impoverished. See, so, when the European comes to Africa, they're rich. So you're meeting a poor ass savage, but you're kind. Africans are loving. Oh, come on in. We can help you out. You don't think they're gonna knock you? It's like you opening the door to a stranger. Iraton, you're nice. You don't think the stranger's gonna knock you over your head, rape your wife, and then take you home, and then have you working in your own home as the servant? But that's what they did.
Right.
And then if you got online, they chopped your hand off or hung you in your own home and had you as the servant. So now the servant in your own house. You serving them in your own house. You're like, damn. And so, that's what happened. You become the servant in your own land.
Right. So, which is happening right now, literally, when you look at a lot of people coming to like invest here, and you're always wondering like,
invest is a lie.
Yeah.
Invest is a lie. Oh, they need what you have, Iraton. You don't need to invest that scam invest nonsense.
Yeah.
You have what everybody needs. So if they want it, you say, hey, you're gonna pay me for it. I'm not invested in shit. Not no investment. Say if you want it, if you want my minerals, you're going to have to build a factory here, manufacturing. So we're going to take the stuff in my ground, and it runs throughout Africa. We're going to manufacture it here and make finished products, add value to it. And in 5 years, you're going to teach my people how to do it so they can run their own companies themselves. I'm like, that's the damn plan. You don't like it, go away. But they got to accept it, or their whole societies collapse. Iraton. Everybody has been parasited off of Africa. That's why they've had their wicked ass experiments in there with the COVID and all this other shit trying to murder us all. The Africans, like I said, has been too stupid to sleep. You don't go nowhere. You got some fucking cracker talking about giving you a shot. What's in it? Like Joseph Mpanga said, what's in that shit? Know their history. Their history's been to wipe us out. I know you didn't want to believe it when I first heard. That's been their whole thing. I want Africa without the African because it's wealthy.
That is so true. And also he talked about the educational system. That's what he said. Mr. Mpanga, which European. Is not teaching us anything about our identity at all.
No, it's not supposed to, because you never got free independence. Well, I'm not going to teach you how to overthrow me. But I'm going to say, hey, these educational systems, I want installed in every African country, and that's what you've been dealing with. Lies, European lies, the self-hatred indoctrination. You've been taught to hate yourself over and over again.
That is so true. And also we're not taught about how to lead, how to build, how to be employed, and how to be underneath.
Well, how to reason. They said teach them how to read, but not how to reason. Teach them our languages. Teach them how to read, but not how to reason. So you haven't been taught about entrepreneurship, how the world really works. So imagine your parents, 100 people, Africans have been growing up in an illusion of nonsense, in a bubble, like you said, your bubble, not knowing how the world works, thinking that it's Africans, we're poor and white people are great. How they got all their wealth, not reasoning, say, damn, the wealth came from them stealing from us. That's where it came from. But until you learn how to reason and get right knowledge, you don't know that. And so your parents would defend what's wicked because they don't have any clue what's going on. The idea that you go against white people, like, oh no, those are our gods, it's Jesus, it's Allah, all this other dumb shit. Said no, crackers are wicked, evil. thieves, robbers. That's what even Torre is talking about. They said, why don't they want every poor era time? Why don't they leave?
Thank you. That is true.
Because you're not poor. Because you're not poor. Why? Because you're not poor. Why the Chinese and all these other people showing up to Africa? Because you're wealthy. That's why. They don't want to be your friend. They don't like us. They ain't there to be your friend. They're there to rob and steal too. Hell shit, how can we get some of this money the damn Europeans have been robbing and stealing from these black people? How do we get involved in the shit? Get our piece of the pie.
Right.
So that's what
the inferiority complex objective to make us feel like we're less, I can see Top of the Top saying when they talk about overpopulation, they are talking about Africa. They have negative birth rates.
Exactly right, Top. You understand? I've been said they're dying out. Exactly. But that's spiritual. That's an irritant I don't know yet. That's spiritual. I said they were going to start dying out years ago. If you understand who they are and what they are. Yes, and we're not. And Africa is not overpopulated. Africa's not even populated enough. That's all a lie. That's the choice. Yeah, because they said we need overpopulated. We got to stop your birth rate. Everybody got that damn Planned Parenthood and all that shit in Africa. Cause contraceptives to stop your birth rate. Shows the African woman is the beginning of everything. Her birth rate is always going to be better than everybody because she's the template of the creator on this planet. So she's.
I remember that video that you shared. You're telling Shivani to share the Africans women lactating the.
Well, she's the beginning of everything. So they can't stop the African woman's birth rate because she is the closest thing to the true God, not your fake religions here. She's the closest thing as the true God manifest here on the planet. So she's the beginning of everything. These other people are not. So their birth rates are all fucked up. That's why I told you why you think they got the Chinese and the Japanese and now the Polish asking African men to impregnate their women. Because black is superior to anybody on the planet because you're the beginning of God here. That's your fake religions. It's real. Not the lies you've been told. They know that. If they're superior, why don't they sleep with themselves? Why they ask African men and women to sleep with them? Because you have the God genetics. That's why.
Right. Top of the Top saying they fear our young population.
Yeah.
Taking control of our resources. They want to steal like they have. Welcome, Ray Classic.
Yeah, exactly right, Top. You're very smart. They thought they can keep control in Africa, but the youth population is booming, and the youth in Africa are not as stupid as their parents and their grandparents. There's an awakening. They know. They understand. It's more information being disseminated. And they've been learned. They learned to take down this tribalism and this religious shit that they've been given. That's the things of control. The youth have been on these social media platforms, reaching out to each other and understanding that. That's what's been dangerous. You say, "Hey man, this religion shit don't work. This is fake. How the fuck can we talk about this Jesus? We all poor. How the hell can we poor all the time and we the most praying people on the planet? This ain't logical exactly." and then. Our educational system is messed up. Everybody's wealthy but us. And we live on this continent on the planet. How can that be? Something's going on, in this tribal shit. How does this tribal shit help me? It don't. It keeps me divided and keeps me poor. So let's get rid of this tribalism shit. Get out of that shit. Let's understand that we are one people, and with our unity become gives our power. So as you've seen the youth in Kenya unite, you've seen power. And power is never given. It's taken.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Right. Power is never given, it's taken. And it's amazing. Keith has mentioned that, and he shared a video with us this morning of the lady Warimo on TikTok. And she said that people do not really understand. These politicians or government officials don't really understand that the Gen Z movement is not about politics at
No,
all.
it's
It's not about
collective consciousness. No,
yeah, yeah,
she and her to understand that. I said it years ago. Africans understand what that meant. She understands. She says, "No, it's not. It's about your
yeah,
collective consciousness." I told you there's a certain thing. You have the same consciousness as Africans all over the planet. And when
yeah,
you reach a certain tipping point, you have a collective consciousness. You're the same people. No matter what goofy tribe you claim, you're not a tribe. You're a people. You're an African people, not your goofy tribe. And once you reach a certain point, you have a collective consciousness. Once that starts to wake up, what's happening now, sparked by Kenya, it's going to permeate throughout Africa and the rest of the diaspora, whether you're in Brazil, America, Jamaica, Haiti, wherever you're at. That
mm-hmm.
collective consciousness is going to spark revolutions everywhere because
Yeah,
you're one people. That's what happens. So, you know, understand that your collective consciousness is being awakened. And she's right. Not about
correct.
politics. Your collective consciousness about
Mm-hmm.
being oppressed, being treated
Yeah,
wrongly. Is that's why there's a backlash because there's an awakening. You can't
and
put
it's
the genie back in
unstoppable
the bottle.
regardless. It's unstoppable regardless.
Yeah, because you can't go back. You're not going to be able to go back to sleep because you're awake.
Yeah,
You're starting to wake up. You know too much information. You're not, like I said, you're not your parents. You're not scared. You're not, well, let me go to church and pray on this and all this dumb shit. Like, what? Man, get out of here with that shit. We've been wronged and things have got to change. And we're the change. We're the change we need to see. So
in the world.
the reason why it's happening, kids, see, they thought it was, the older generation thought it was business as usual. We're going to still
Yeah,
just follow the master's plan. But they didn't realize that they were sitting on the powder keg in Kenya and
mm-hmm.
around Africa, that you had a young population that knew what was going on and they were going to challenge you. See, 500 years, Africa's never had that. Like, what the hell's going on? That's why this
Yeah,
is so, why everybody in Africa is like, God damn right, the Kenyans. When you go online, you see every African youth praising the Kenyans because
yeah,
the collective consciousness, because they're like, wow, we've been always scared. We've been not know what's going on.
that's
And
so true.
Kenyans put it all online and people have died because the price of freedom, sadly, is death. White people are not going to just let you be free. You are they're parasites. Their wealth depends on them stealing from you.
Right.
They're gonna wake up one day, Irritan, I'm wrong. I've been wrong at Irritan, and I've been wrong by treating you fucked up and stealing. I think I should probably give you your stuff back. You're never
Mm.
gonna hear that.
We have to take it by force, and that's what even
Yeah,
Ibrahim Traoré said. He said he's ready for blood. If y'all come to a country again, he's ready to basically spill blood if it's fighting for their country, and that's what
they're
he's
playing
basically.
on, right. And they're using the puppets, the states
Mm,
underneath them, Cote d'Ivoire and Benin. The French are amassing weapons right now
yeah.
to invade them. And that's why also the AU, the African Union, which is not African, just a
Mhm.
name that white people run, it's a fake organization. African Union came out. You can find it every time over the weekend. Just say African Union says that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger leaving ECOWAS is unacceptable. And if we got
Okay.
to invade these niggas, that's what we'll do. Because the white man told them, hey, you better make sure these niggas don't go nowhere. That's
Right.
what they said. And this is supposed to be the African Union fighting for African people
Yes,
here in
that's a fact.
China.
Yeah.
But it fights against African people because it's a
Mhm.
public organization
Right.
backed by the Europeans. That's why they fired Dr. Eric Connor. When Dr. Eric
Yeah.
Connor got to talking that shit, they said, fire her ass. Get her ass out of here. Get talking about Africa being robbed and stole. They say, hey, call Dr. Dr. Whatever her name is. Call her ass up and
Mhm.
tell her she's fired. They fired on the spot when she got to talking about the theft of Africa.
Right.
They fired her on the spot.
but she's been consistent in regards to educating people, like on YouTube, everywhere.
She's the real deal.
Yeah,
she's the real deal. I don't want my puppet organizations going against me being a European, me robbing and stealing. You keep your mouth shut. But she wasn't. She didn't care about that. She said, "Listen here, you've been robbing and stealing." So the white man made that phone call. Dr. Arikana, you fire her ass. And they did, because she's going against the white man and his plans. Africa belongs to me, the white man. I made trends of that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Belongs to you. So, but you wake up, make sure you stay in your slumber. Make sure you stay in your slumber. Remain poor. That's the whole
You're
thing.
cutting off, but we're almost winding up. We're basically winding up here. I can see Cool Guy next door. Thank you for joining me. Hey, I hope you're doing better. Top of the top. Thank you so much. Ray Classic, Kellen Myers, Cisco General Mosquito, Dan Omori. Thank you so much for joining me here on Let's Pop with Iraton. The topic is the voice of the people, because the voice of the people basically is the betterment of the future government. Any last words, Mr. Blackwood Fire, before we wind up?
Stay woke, keep waking yourself up with knowledge. Understand as African people, you deserve to be rich, wealthy. You serve the richest continent on the planet. Belongs to you. Don't let anybody come and gas you. You're stupid. You're dumb. And you white people that never helped us. They've been stolen, robbed, raped, and killed. They stole most of the lands in Africa either through their fake church or through their fake puppets. They don't never intend to leave Africa, because without Europe is impoverished. It's always been poor, guys. Always. Europeans come from poverty, not from wealth. That's it.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Blackwood Fire. And guys, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Remembering that you are the change you need to see in the world. Download our app on Google Store. The guys are using the iPhone. Kindly stream on www.blackheartfriendnetwork.com. Remembering to follow us on all the social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube. And you'll find amazing, mind-blowing conversation in regards to who you are and what's happening here in the 254 and the rest of the world. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world, and this is a paradigm shift that cannot be shaken at all. Take care and have a blessed evening.
Nobody matter.